Jaya Bhaktivedānta Swami Prabhupada.
Jaya Bhaktivedānta Swami Prabhupada.
Leaving behind the sacred land of Vrindavan and taking a great risk in his old age, Srila Prabhupada came to the Western world as our ever well-wisher, carrying with him the message of Gaura Prema, the love of Lord Gauranga. Upon his arrival, he earnestly prayed to Lord Krishna, addressing him as Bhai, O brother, in a very intense and loving way. Srila Prabhupada wrote, O dear brother, my dear and intimate friend, I tell you this in a most definite way. You can achieve some invaluable merits by pleasing Srimati Radharani. You, Lord Krishna, can really attain even more fortune if you can now please her, the supreme goddess of all good fortunes. Srimati Radharani herself, in the form of Srila Bhaktivedānta Swami Prabhupāda, ordered me to preach her message. Therefore, please take my word and advice and fulfill her desire. Then only will I attain success in the service of my views fully. The mine of incomparable good fortune is the message of His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedānta Swami Prabhupāda. His message: if someone takes shelter of Krishna Nam and Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the son of Mother Sachi, along with their dear associates, Sri Swarup Damodar, Sanatan Goswami, and Rupa Goswami, they, being greatly pleased with such a person, bestow upon him entrance into the embrace of the dear associate servitors of Srimati Radharani at Govardhan, Vrindavan, and sometimes at Sri Radhakunda, blessing them with the supreme fulfillment of the ultimate goal of Krishna Prema. Completing his missionary activities in the Western world, Srila Prabhupada returned to Vrindavan, accepting the month of Kartik, which is non-different from Srimati Radharani, bearing Giriraj Govardhan in mind and embracing the lotus feet of his most worshipful Lord. In the core of his heart, Srila Prabhupada made his disappearance from this world and entered into Nitya-lila, the eternal loving pastimes of Goloka, where Lord Govinda is always effulgently present with his dear most Srimati Radharani. Srila Prabhupada. The great souls, they have two types of activities, prakrita and aprākṛta. Prakrita means which has got some connection to this world. They are born, they go to school, they have to be taught how to read and write. They may marry, or they may be brahmachari. They may accept varnashram. Ultimately, they may accept sannyas also. They may be a businessman at some point in their life. That is called prākṛta-līlā. It appears to be material. There are so many businessmen. There are so many family men. There are so many people in school learning. So many children are born every day. Srila Prabhupada was born on Nandotsava. Do you know how many other children were born on Nandotsava also? Thousands, all around the world. But no speciality in those children. Simply born on that day according to their karma. So there's prākṛta-līlā and then aprākṛta-līlā. Aprākṛta-līlā is the eternal engagement of the great souls. In particular, we're speaking here of Srila Prabhupada. His eternal engagement. So, we are accepting Srila Prabhupada as a Nitya-lila, Nitya-siddha. Nitya-siddha means one who has never forgotten Krishna, one who always remembers Krishna. Such Nitya-lilas, Nitya-siddhas, are considered very rare. They are not many. They are not many. Even amongst great devotees, those who will come from the spiritual world. there are fewer in them, not many. So we accept Srila Prabhupada as a Nitya Siddha, eternally perfected devotee. And he comes down to this world to do some bidding on the Lord's order. Actually, we must always see our Guru as a Nitya Siddha. We should not consider our Guru as even a sadhana siddha, what to speak of a conditioned soul, or even a kripa siddha. There are three types of siddhas, three types of perfection: Nitya siddha, sadhana siddha, and kripa siddha. Because Guru means Krishna comes down and resides there in the jiva to inspire us, to give message to us. The inspired side of the Vaishnava is called Guru Tattva. The disciple, when addressing his Guru, should not look at any mundane side of his activities. He sees only the divine side. For example, when you have darshan of Srimurti of Krishna, what do you see there? The deity may be made from asta dhatu, panch dhatu, marble wood. So many things are there. But what do you see when you go there? The shining metals and all of that? Or do you see Krishna present there? Two things are there. If we look upon the deity as the stone, the wood, the metal, the neem wood, and so forth, then we are called prasanni. We are an offender. One should not look upon the deity in that way. One should see the deity in terms of Satchidananda Vigraha, the divine form of the Lord manifest before our eyes, called Archa Vigraha. One should not look to see about the wood and all these things. And if you've ever been a pujari, nothing is more discouraging than when giving the darshan to some devotees. And someone will say, Pujari, the Pujari will say, yes. And then they will say, what is the deity made of? Astadhatu, Panchdhatu, is he wood? Is he stone? The heart just falls out of his chutter at that point. It's a very discouraging question. No, don't see this. See that, the divinity. Don't see the world. See Krishna, they say. See the shining face of Krishna behind everything, particularly in the deity. Śrī Gurudev holds a similar position. We should not see him according to his birth, according to his nationality, according to his age, and all these things. We should see him as a representative of Krishna. Non-different from Krishna, like ambassador. Ambassador to any country. It's non-different than that country, non-different than the president of that country. Ambassador. He holds that type of dual position. When dealing with any ambassador, we deal with him as the representative of that country. Not as a family man. He may have 10 children. He may play cricket. He may do so many things with his own clan. But we go to him, we deal with him according to his position. So Krishna comes down in any Vaishnava. That is called Guru Tattva. That Krishna is Nitya Siddha. He is eternally perfected. And that thing which comes into any Vaishnava to represent Krishna as Guru, that thing is perfect. That is called Nitya Siddha. It may be, when considering Vaishnavas, there's Nitya Siddha Vaishnava, Sadhana Siddha Vaishnava, Kripa Siddha Vaishnava. But I wouldn't crack my head too much to try and understand which way he is a Siddha, how he is perfect. Three types of Vaishnavas. Nitya Siddha Vaishnava, Sadhana Siddha Vaishnava. Sadhana Siddha means by practice. Kripa Siddha means by divine mercy. Simply the mercy has come down. Siddha is an ocean in itself. Siddha, perfection. Perfection, final perfection. What final perfection? Perfection is infinite, always going on. Perfection upon perfection upon perfection. Even in Nitya Siddha, some Kripa Siddha came. Madhavinda Puri is a Nitya Siddha devotee, and he's an eternal resident of Vrindavan. He's in Shantaras, he came to the world. Some Kripa Siddha, he got some admission in Madhurya Ras. A Nitya Siddha got Kripa Siddha. Sometimes it is said that our Guru Dev, Srila Prabhupada, is a sadhana siddha. But we say he is a nitya siddha, but he showed the sadhana through the sadhana. And what part of the sadhana? To serve the order of his Guru. That part of sadhana he showed again and again and again. We'll get all perfection in the line of Guru Seva. Serving our Guru, we'll get all perfection. So that sadhana he showed, you'll get siddha. He showed sadhana siddha. It is nitya siddha. When thinking of our Guru and Param Gurus, we think always they are nitya siddha. When classifying any Vaishnava, there are three classes: Nitya Siddha, Sadhana Siddha, and Kripa Siddha. But in Guru, there's only one category, Nitya Siddha. Particularly for the disciples. Otherwise, they may fall on the side. Oh, he's Sadhana Siddha. Then I wonder when, before the sadhana began, what he was. And the mind will go that side. And how he can become. I don't think so. The mind is very, very like an unchaste wife. Mind may run. So, Krishna says, I am the Acharya. I come down in the Acharya. Treated none different than me. Treated not only means give massage, give nice cloth, give nice thing. Means by treat your mind in the same way. So, when we see our Guru, in particular I'm talking to Srila Prabhupada, as a nitya siddha, then his aprākṛta-līlā, his eternal life, his eternal engagement, always in service of Krishna. Krishna where? Many levels of Krishna. Vaikuntha Krishna. Krishna as Ram in Ayodhya. Krishna in Dwarka. Krishna in Mathura. Krishna in Braj. Where in Braj? Many Krishnas are there. They're always engaged in service of Krishna. Then some more specific idea. So, what happens is, with our faith, we're feeling our Guru Dev is in the most intimate group of the servants of the Supreme Lord. Most intimate group. He's not the Vaikuntha type, the higher Goloka type. Very intimate group. Now we are told that even in his prākṛta-līlā, material life, there will be some clues what he is, where he is connected in service of Krishna, even in his material life. Although looks very ordinary, like anybody else. But we will find some clues in the so-called ordinary life that will reveal to us some idea about his higher position in eternal pastimes. Do you follow? So, throughout life, we traced that Srila Prabhupada, he had again and again, from his very birth, and his father, Gaur Mohan Dev, starting there, he had some divine connection with the side of service which is associated with Radharani. A very unique thing. When he was a small boy, for many years, not 1 year, 2 years, for many years, whenever his father entertained any sadhu, and his father entertained any sadhu, whether he was a hukam sadhu, a tapasvi sadhu, whatever he was a sadhu. His father saw he may have 50 or 100 material qualities, but he's a sadhu. So somewhere within, maybe that divine agency is there. He is interested only in any part of divinity. Even there was kilos of mundanity, Prabhupada's father was looking if anything divine is there in that sadhu. Then he would ask those sadhus, please give any blessing. When we go to people's homes, Swami B.G, please bless my home. What blessing do people want? They want health, wealth, import licenses, promotions, all these types of things. Prabhupada's father, yes, Prabhuji, what do you want? Then he would say, you please bless my son, that he will become the great devotee of Srimati Radharani. That is a very unique blessing to seek for anyone's son. Similarly, when Prabhupada was a child, his father gave him the worship of little Radha Govinda deities, the worship of Radha Govinda. Not Krishna alone, but Radha Govinda. Many devotees of Krishna are there throughout India. Lakhs of them, maybe crores of them. But who is devotee of Radha and Krishna? That is a very less. Even in Vrindavan, many people go to Banki Vihari. Banki Vihari. Not Radha, Banki Vihari. Only Banki Vihari. Many will go to Krishna alone. Those who desire only the darshan of Krishna with Radha, Radha Krishna bhaktas, they are less in number. You follow? So, his father gave him the worship of Radha Krishna deities. He wanted him to become very good at mridanga. Now, generally, when devotees are older, when they're young, boys and the girls, they play the mridanga. But when reaching some age, only the men play the mridanga, 99.9% of the time. But actually, who are the best mridanga players are the gopis. They play mridanga. They're playing mridanga. Not that it's only for the boys. It is for both. But particularly, in this life, it is for the boys. But in that life, Krishna doesn't play the mridanga. The gopis play the mridanga. Anyway, Prabhupada's father wanted him. He should be a very fine mridanga player. More than anything else. People told, why don't you get your son educated and he can go off to Europe? He told, no. My son will not be a malecha. He will be educated and he'll live in India. He'll learn mridanga and he'll worship Radha Govinda. These types of things. And he may become a great devotee of Radha Govinda. So these thoughts, Prabhupada used to say, my father gave when I was young. Then later, when meeting my Guru Dev, Srila Bhaktivedānta Swami Prabhupāda, then those thoughts became solid. They became his life of his life. The life of his life. These things which he got in some seed idea from his father, they then took full shape after meeting Srila Bhaktivedānta Swami Prabhupāda. So, not that he got any guru, he got a guru of very high category. A guru whose eternal identity is assigned in the very close camp of Srimati Radharani. Very close. Nayana Mani Manjari, his name comes. The eternal Leela, that type of guru. And he got that instruction for printing books, publishing books. That seems like a material thing. Oh, Baba, you print books. So many people print books. Not any books. Books about Krishna. Books about Radha Krishna. Books about Lord Gauranga. And where he got that order, first, who he got that order from? He got that order from his Gurudev. Who is his Gurudev in eternal Leelas? That I told. Nayana Mani Manjari. Where he got that order, in the bank of Radha Kund. Not in any ordinary place, but at Radha Kund. What is Radha Kund? The place of the highest service in Leela is Radha Kund. The place of the highest service. What is the order of Gurudev? That is service. At the highest place of eternal service, the order came from Guru, the representative of Radharani. What you shall do as a disciple, what you will do. Then print books. These books printed by Srila Prabhupada, this is direct service to the Queen of Braj. Who is the best preacher of the glories of Krishna? Is not Krishna himself, but is Krishna's devotees. Just like in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna tells Arjuna, you declare it boldly to the world. Krishna is not declaring it so boldly. He tells you declare this message boldly to the world. The devotee is the best preacher of Krishna. And who is the best devotee? The best devotee is Srimati Radharani. So when Krishna comes as Lord Gauranga in mood of Radharani, then the distribution of Krishna consciousness can reach its highest platform. You follow up to this point? So the place where he received that seemingly common order, and all things are not mentioned in the songs. Other things, Prabhupada first set up his preaching mission under the name of League of Devotees. It was registered at such in Lucknow. And it was set up in Jhansi. And he rented a cottage to start. Do you know the name of that cottage? Radha Smarik. Radha Smarik. he starts his missionary activities later, after the time of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta. And he sets up in a rented cottage. Actually, I think he was getting it free, or rented. Radha Smarak, name of Radharani was there. Radha Smarak, League of Devotees. The place of his residing. Then, where he used to stay and print these books, and all in Delhi, a place called Chippiwada. You ever went to Chippiwada? If you go to Chippiwada, you'll find Radha and Govinda are there in Chippiwada. And Srila Prabhupada used to live in that compound there. Not living in any ordinary dharamshala, Birla dharamshala, some Agarwal dharamshala, some cheap hotel. Staying only in the temple of Radha and Krishna. Then in Vrindavan, when he assigned himself for some bhajan life, to take up a residence in Vrindavan. Vrindavan itself is the eternal abode. And here we begin to close in closer and closer to his eternal identity. He takes up his residence by the grace of his gurus in Radha Damodar Temple. Radha Damodar Temple is the temple of Jiva Goswami, where we also find the samadhi of Śrī Rupa Goswami Prabhupada. Just behind that samadhi of Rupa Goswami, we find the bhajan kutir of Srila Prabhupada. Rupa Goswami is the head of the whole sampradaya, both in this world and in that world. In this world and in that world. In both worlds. This world of seva, the parampara, and the eternal parampara. He heads our sampradaya there. Prabhupada takes his room, his place of japa, just behind Rupa Goswami. We are told ontologically that the highest position for any jiva is to come in service to Krishna in the camp of Radharani, just behind Rupa Goswami. If you can get behind him, the drops of nectar that come in that flow are the sweetest of the sweet. The best position given to any jiva soul will come there. This was shown by Mahaprabhu himself. For the jivas, the tester jivas, we can enter the spiritual world, and where we will go, in the line behind. It's called the line of Śrī Guru. The line behind Śrī Guru, he takes his seat there. And he begins his work. The work of Rupa. And in a grand fashion, just like Jiva Goswami, who is the most prolific writer in the Gaudiya line. He wrote so many books. You can't think of a question, proper question, or even doubt that he didn't answer in his Sandarbhas. The most prolific writer in the Sampradaya. That place. The place of Rupa Goswami's Samadhi. What is Samadhi? Now we have Pushpa Samadhi. Samadhi means the deepest absorption of the Guru. His deepest absorption of the Vaishnava. Deepest absorption in consciousness, in service. That is called Samadhi. Deep absorption in service to Krishna. So, where is his Samadhi? Rupa Goswami Samadhi. It is in this place, we call Radha Damodar. That is where, in the Leelas of Krishna, the Lord Krishna begged for the foot dust of Radharani. That place, right in that little garden area. He begged for foot dust of Radharani. Radha Pada Seva. I will serve your lotus feet. No, you can't serve my feet. But he begged to serve those lotus feet of Radharani. Generally the whole universe, from Brahma down, everyone is begging on the foot of Krishna. Krishna is begging on the feet of Radharani. So that place is divine. Radha Pada Seva is shown by Krishna to all. The best of fortunes. You all come to me, but I seek my fortune at the lotus feet of Radharani. Then what fortune you will get there? Even I will get a good fortune there. So Krishna himself shows that the service of Radharani is the highest type of service. That only through Radharani can anyone please me. Otherwise, no. Actually, all the other rasas, they're not independent. They are all related to the Sringar Ras Madhurya, to the Madhurya Ras. All! They are playing the part of that. We may see any part of it in Krishna's with cows, Shantaras, cowherd boys, Saki Ras, the servants at home, Dasi Ras, mother and father, Vatsalya Ras. But actually, when the whole picture of Braj comes, the Mukhya Ras is Madhurya Ras. And everything is serving that. And the Madhurya Ras means the divine couple, Radha and Govinda. So even Vatsalya Ras is serving Madhurya Ras. All the rasas are serving Madhurya in the Supreme Madhurya Rasi, the highest service to Krishna must come through her. There is no opposition to her. There is no service to her, to him, without her mercy. She is Bhakti Devi. She is Shraddha Devi. She is the Mahalakshmi. Original. That follow? So Krishna is showing that there. Then Rupa Goswami's Samadhi is in that place. He's in the line of that service. The line of Radha, Lalita, Rupa Goswami, and our Parampara. So Prabhupada took this place. This is his place of bhajan. You can't, going into Vrindavan, go with your pockets full of cash and see what happens. Still it is so hard to enter Vrindavan. And where you will be. You will be somewhere far. How you get in these interquarters of Vrindavan is so very difficult. But he got his place there by the divine of his gurus. So these things are tracing. He's moving in this world, but in places and things which, if you think them deeply, they go upwards. And where do they go? Not to Vaikuntha, not to Dwarka, not to Mathura. They go to Vrindavan. And then, where in the Vrindavan do they go? They go to the Madhurya Ras. They go to the Radha Govinda. They go to the lotus feet of Radha. So, like this, we see the prākṛta-līlā giving some clue to the aprākṛta-līlā, the eternal pastime. Do you follow? So then, the real sum and substance comes in these verses when Prabhupada showed his disappearance. Throughout his life, throughout his life known to us in the Western section and all of you from India, and his preaching, mission, and all of this, he was so much concerned with the basic necessity of all living beings. They must chant the holy name of Krishna, take Krishna Prasad, begin to read the literature of Krishna. He dealt with the necessity of every living being in this world, keeping his higher aspirations within himself, not discussing them openly with others, not revealing his higher thought and aspirations on an everyday basis. Only few things he told in books, few things he told in letters, few things he showed in his private quarter or on the Vyasa-san, which are extremely rare and high. Otherwise, he's shouting, "You are not this body. You must face death. What do you do then? Give up your nonsense. Surrender to Krishna." He's doing this service necessity to save the living entities. But when he returned to Vrindavan in 1977, although he continued that line, he let go of the curtain, and the curtain was pulled back. And his heart's desire, directly in relation to eternal pastimes of Krishna, it was manifest for some days. It was so very wonderful, but it was very complexing and bewildering to the devotees. Because most of us, we were on the prākṛta-līlā, the mundane side. And even something very high and divine was being expressed. We could not trace its meaning until many years later. At the time, it was simply seemed something which was unacceptable. Suddenly, Prabhupada manifested a great desire to go to Govardhan Hill. He couldn't even sit up, what to speak of move or walk. He wanted to go to Govardhan Hill at any cost. Take me there in a bullock cart. However it is possible, take me to Govardhan Hill. I want to go to Govardhan Hill. The devotees thought if he goes to Govardhan Hill, he'll die on the spot. He can't be moved from the bed. So materially the devotees were thinking in this way, we can't move him. And so many things happened in those 2 or 3 days. And finally, one godbrother came, Krishnadas Babaji Maharaj, and he gives some pacification to Prabhupada's heart. So he desired to go to Govardhan. We find out later that Govardhan, when you go to live eternally in the spiritual world, where do you live? Where's your house? Where are you going to go there? It's a big place. We're told that these Gaudiya Vaiṣṇava people in the line of Sri Rupa, they have a cottage in Govardhan Hill, eternally waiting there. They'll be there in Govardhan Hill. It is the place of residence of the followers of Rupa Raghunath, the Rupa Saraswati line. We're the residents of Govardhan. And Prabhupada began to manifest that desire for Govardhan. that place which will be his eternal residence. And Kartik, although it is generally known to everyone as the month of Damodar, behind the curtain, it is the month of Radharani. Kartika means Radharani. It is her month. The month which comes next, in the calendar, that is the month of Vishnu, Krishna. Magha Sarira, not Kartik. But we were telling Damodar, but Damodar has two meanings. One, captured by the love of Mother Yasoda. General call goes out. But the inner group knows, captured by the love of Radharani. That Damodar, we are worshipping on Kartik. Her month, the month of Kartik. The most auspicious month in all of Braj. The month which belongs to the Queen of Vrindavan. Where even the smallest devotion performed will give the greatest result, the greatest benefit. The month in which Radhakunda appeared on the earth, in the Leelas. The Kunda came in Kartik. Govardhan Leela, also showing Govardhan Leela in Kartik, especially for the Gaudiya Vaiṣṇavas. So in Kartik, then this began to manifest. Prākṛta-līlā, this mundane world, moving to the eternal world of pastimes, Radha and Govinda. So by showing us his disappearance in the month of Kartik, and by revealing his desire to Govardhan Hill, Srila Prabhupada has shown us the path which leads to the fulfillment of the ultimate aim and object of life, all Gaudiya Vaishnavas, and ultimately of all living beings. The highest fulfillment of all living beings comes in that connection. So, prior to this, what we are showing is not just suddenly in the last hour something divine is shown, but even in his so-called mundane life throughout, where he'll live, what blessing his father will ask for him, where he got the order of Guru, all these things and more, we did not mention them all, where he'll go for his bhajan behind Rupa Goswami. All these external things, if we look at them deeply with reverence, you'll see they have connection to divinity. And ultimately, that is advised by the scriptures. Do not see the Vaishnava, and particularly the Guru, in any mundane way of looking. Remove the sunglass, the jaded vision, the tinted vision. See clearly. Don't consider the Vaishnava in terms of his birth. What is birth? Land, caste. Don't consider him in that way. And similarly, don't consider our Guru in that way. See the divinity within. See, like the beauty of the moon. Someone will say, oh, it is Purnima. See the moon. It is so nice. Someone will say, what is that black spot? Hey, give a slap. Why you say black spot? See the beauty of the moon. Don't look for the fault. If we look for the fault will be there, even in Krishna. What to speak of Guru? If you want to find fault, you can find fault with Krishna. And he will accommodate that also. Oh, I am an ordinary man. See, I died here. I was shot in the foot. I died. He's shot in the foot. Bhishma is shooting in the chest. So many arrows are hitting on Krishna, pinching him. Serpent arrows from Bhishma. Krishna is taking like kisses of the gopis. He's taking it like flowers. And then lastly, some shot in the foot, and he died. The great Krishna? Yes, I died. You see, I died. I am a very ordinary man. Now take your thoughts and go to hell. He'll give the thought and send to hell. Then if that is possible, then any Vaishnava also. Oh, no, he's a lower caste. He's a low class. He's not an Indian. Anything may be there. Yes, he's a lower caste. Yes, he's not an Indian. All these things we'll see. Yes, you see. Now go. So we are advised, if we want Krishna, if we want Bhagavan, don't see with the external eye. Try to see with the divine eye. And divine eye is opened by faith, Shraddha. Faith opens the inner vision, not knowledge. Faith, Shraddha. Some knowledge is there that we will get some disentanglement from the external world of Maya to understand what is the life, what is bad, what is good, that knowledge. But ultimately, the internal eye to see things divine, that comes only through Shraddha. Shraddha Devi, Bhakti Devi, not through Jnani. Shraddha.